Well, welcome to Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep. It's just an introduction about photographer and photography, taking pictures for our organization. Today we have two wonderful volunteers. I have to brag about them.
There you go.
Yes, Fran, and she is has been doing these photography, has done over 300 photography sessions. Been with Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep for 13 years. And Laura has been with us about 3 years and has done many sessions herself. We're going to start with a short video. We're going to try to keep this at 30 minutes. It may be less than that. But the video is a testimonial on being a photographer for Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep. And it's a woman named Jennifer Denton, who is a photographer for us.
Okay. So I'm going to share.
I'm a photographer for a group called Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep, and we capture images for people who will never be able to take their baby home from the hospital. And then we typically hear things like, I could never do that, or that's amazing. And I would say to them that it is, but it's such a blessing to me in my life. There's nothing else I've ever done that provides me this kind of fulfillment and satisfaction. And one of the things that I tell people frequently is, it is the world's greatest gift of perspective. No matter what I have going on in my life, my day, it doesn't matter, because nothing that I'm experiencing compares to what those people are going through in that moment. I hear from a lot of new photographers that they walk out of their first session and they're surprised by how they feel. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes they cry, but a lot of times they feel an incredible and profound sense of value and giftedness and blessing and perspective, because they didn't think they could do it. They had no idea what it would feel like, and you're giving completely of yourself to someone else, and you're getting back that feeling of satisfaction, that feeling of, I have the ability to do this. I have the ability to give of myself. We all have time and talent, and it's our choice what we do with it. And this, to me, is one of the most valuable things I've ever done with my time.
So that kind of tells a lot about the experience of being a photographer. And I want to also say, if there is anyone on that wants to ask questions, please feel free. First of all, Laura is going to speak to us a little bit about the commitments and process and the average time of a session. And tell us all about that.
Okay. Hi. So I'm really sorry if I didn't share that video and you just listened to it, but so I just want to talk about some of the things that we get asked about a lot is, you know, how do you handle the emotions of doing this? And also I think what comes up later is how do you handle the time commitments of doing it? For me, this is something, again, I've joked a lot of my answers to these questions make me sound like a robot, but if you've ever met me in person, I'm one of the most emotional people ever. I've probably cried in front of you, and I can do this. I think a lot of us have done a photo session where the people are looking for direction and they're looking for your guidance, and that's what these people want. It may feel like you're intruding on a special time with them, but really you're guiding them how to get something that they're unable to do for themselves. And for me, that's the most important part, is that I know how to do this. I know how to guide a family through a photo session in a difficult time, and I know how to get artistic pictures, not just what they can do with a cell phone. We do offer to edit cell phone pictures if that is all that is available to them in that time. But what I do is I coordinate with a nurse. I talk to the nurse when I get there. She leads me to the room. She tells me about the condition of the baby. Not every baby can be handled as easily as maybe a full-term baby. I walk into the room and I don't say things like, hi, how are you? Nobody has a good answer for that in this moment. I say, my name is Laura Stribling. I'm with Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep. I have a form that explains what we're going to do today, but usually they can't read in that moment, and I just explain the form to them and I say, I'm a volunteer, I don't work for the hospital, you'll get 25 black and white images delivered to you via email. And then I usually ask a nurse to fill out the information for me just because they're busy doing other things and the hospital has all of their information. And then I kind of assess, like, is the baby laying by itself or is the baby being held by a parent? If the baby's by itself, my first goal is to get a full length picture of the baby and then a close-up picture of the face. Sometimes it's hard to limit yourself to 25. You can take more and then of course edit down, but you don't need every angle of the face. You need a picture of the face, you need a picture of the body. You need, usually I go for details, like what do the ears look like? Things that they are just not going to be able to remember at a later date. Sometimes a close-up of the lips if they're in good condition, or if they have, you know, really long eyelashes. I like to document those things. And then I'll move on to the family. And again, sometimes I've shown up and there were 45 people in the room. And I will say, let's take a group picture. And then I privately talk to mom and I say, let's narrow it down to just your important family members who want a picture holding the baby. Because it's just impossible to work with that many people. Sometimes you're in a very small room and I try and only work with maybe 4 or 5, you know, 8 people if we need to, but try and get it down to the key family members that really need documentation with this baby. So then I might do something with the mom. I don't try and do newborn poses with the baby. I don't try and pose them very much. They're often not in the condition that you'd want to be trying to do poses. But things like poses with mom, where she's very close to the baby, I do that. I don't do smile and look at the camera, which a lot of people, that is their knee-jerk reaction, to try and just smile. And I just say, look at the baby, let's just spend time with the baby. They're looking for your guidance and your expertise. So this is something that kind of comes with time. And we do offer shadowing once you've been through the application process, but you have to apply before you can shadow a photographer. And we can do it together on the first, second, third try. I like to get one with dad alone. I like to get one with the whole family, which often is very limited, especially if you're in the NICU. But again, you're doing what you can. You're not expected to do a perfect job, but you have the skills and ability just by being a photographer to offer something that other people don't have. Another thing I try to do is limit my time with the family. It feels like you're intruding. It also feels like you want to do everything you can for this family. But I have to protect myself and the time that I volunteer and not burn myself out. So I try and stay maybe 30 minutes, less than an hour. I ask, is there anything else you would like photographed? Is there anything else that is of significant value, like a dress or a blanket or a toy? And I try and document those things. Or even a special nurse that has been a big part of their journey, maybe they've been there 6 months sometimes. And then honestly, this works for me, but I go home and I edit immediately. I don't emotionally want to dwell on it. It's a lot less painful for me to edit and do it all in one day and deliver it. And that also helps the family if they are having a funeral and would like an image to use immediately for the funeral. And then I'm done with it. And I know that might sound cold, but it's not my job to be there for the family emotionally. There are a lot more people that have been there through this whole process. It's my job to deliver these pictures and get it done. And then I move on. I don't want to burn out. I protect how much I volunteer. And I also think about, what are my priorities for volunteering? So for me personally, like, I just kind of had to learn when to say yes and when to say no. So for me, if doing a session will interfere with something with my personal business, I say no. That comes first to me. If it's going to make me late to a social event, I'm okay with that. But if it's going to make me late or completely miss a social event that I've been looking forward to and planning for weeks, that's not okay with me. It is okay to say no if there's a family in need. This is a really nice thing to offer. It is not crucial that we offer this. So I don't want anyone to feel like they are obligated to go every time they get a call. We do need more volunteers just to help spread it out. But it's not your responsibility to take every single one, and you have to make your own priorities about which ones you can take and which ones you can't. And also just guard your time for how long you spend editing and delivering. And for anything that you feel is out of your skill set with editing, we do have retouchers that can help you and turn it around usually pretty quickly. We don't change things about babies that like a cleft palate. That is just who the baby is. But if maybe there's a tear or some residue from some tape on their face, that is not a part of the baby. We can have that retouched out, because our goal is to give these parents a picture that really looks like their child. And oftentimes when care has been removed from a child, that is the first time the family is seeing their child without the tubes, without the tape, without all the monitors. And that is a very limited time that we do want to document. This is what your child looks like. This is what your child would have looked like going home, being a part of your family. And that is the precious thing that we get to offer. So it may sound morbid that we do photograph babies after they pass. We try not to go when they're still on the tubes and ventilation. It's really after that they pass that we can get a really clear, clean portrait for the family. But that's also the time that the family doesn't want to be focused on using their own cameras and cell phones trying to document the baby. That is their time to spend with the baby and our time to document what they look like. So those are my thoughts.
Okay, well, good.
And then
Fran, Fran is going to tell us a little bit about her experiences.
Hi, I'm Fran. I've been with Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep about 13 years. I've done over 300 sessions. And you say, my biggest question I get asked is, how can you do that? I just could never do that. And if you're not a photographer, yes, maybe obviously you couldn't do that. But if you're watching this right now and you're a photographer, then there's probably something in the back of your mind that said, hey, maybe I could do that. I'm gonna listen, I'm gonna watch this and see what it's all about. And most of the time you can do it. You walk into a session, I walk into the session in photographer mode. I'm a professional photographer, so I'm there to do my job. Yes, you're walking into an extremely emotional situation. But the thing is, in 300 sessions, everyone's been different. You're not going to walk into the exact same thing every time. Everybody's not going to be crying every time you walk in. Yes, sometimes they will, but it's everyone's different, and you just walk in and you do your job as you've been trained to do, and you do the best you can for them to photograph that baby, as Laura said, so that they know what that baby looked like. And because they're not going to remember, they're there for, they may only have that baby for minutes, and they're not going to remember what it looks like. And that's the biggest thing that the families have come back to me and said, you know, thank you so much. You know, I really didn't want this at first, but now that I have them, I'm so glad I did it. So you are providing something that's priceless to these families. I'm not quite as good a speaker as Laura here, but and it's perfectly fine to shed tears. And my husband and I have done this together, and sometimes it's just me, and we go in, and sometimes we're crying with the nurses. The nurses cry, the families are crying. And sometimes you walk into a situation where they've known for months that something was wrong with the baby. They're prepared. I had one mom who walked in and she handed me her iPad with her Pinterest poses on it that she wanted me to do. That's how prepared she was, you know, and they were perfectly in composure. They were fine. And sometimes you'll walk into a situation, it'll be a 16-year-old who has no clue what's going on. She's sitting there on her phone talking to her friends, and she's the mom of the baby. You know, it's just, everyone is different, and you know, you can do it. I mean, you can do this. It's not, when you're standing back and you're at a situation, you think, oh, how can anybody do that? But it's really not that hard, as if you go into it and think of it as, you know, what you're giving this family, and you're the professional and you know how to take pictures. They don't. And like Laura said, all they'll have is their cell phone pictures, and those are not, a lot of times they're not things that they can look at afterwards. You know, once we do the cleaning up the baby and everything, and they have something that they can actually print and look at every day if they want. I guess that's really about all I have to say.
Okay. Yeah. Just a couple of things. We do have a posing poster that's available, and you'll see it. I think it's on the website or one of the things. And
It's actually on the back of your ID now.
in
So
back of,
if you take the lanyard with you to the hospital and you get stuck, you can actually turn it around. Oh, hi. We just had someone join us. Sandy? Oh, let me unmute you. Can you unmute yourself? Okay.
Ready?
Hi, I can hear you.
Okay. Hi.
Hi, Sandy. We actually just kind of went through almost everything.
I'm sorry.
No, not a problem. This is recorded, so we can share the video with you later. Do you have any specific questions for us that are on your mind?
Well, it's just something. I'm retired. I'm a photographer. I live in the Charleston area, and it's just something that I have thought about, definitely doing a service for my community and using my photography skills.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the most important thing, because just my personal belief is that the only way to make the world better is to do something. Like, we can't do everything, but I know that this is a skill I have, and everyone staying in the room with me, and you too. This is our skill. And honestly, this sounds bad, but by doing this, it gives me permission to not volunteer for anything else.
Oh, yeah,
The best service.
right.
Have you looked into the application process?
I haven't yet, but I belong to the Charleston Lunch photography group. So I just saw that there was a meeting going on at 11:30, and I was having a little hard time connecting. So
Okay, well, we'll send you the recording. And actually, we were going to just look at the training that Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep shares with us. So I'm going to switch my screen. So do you want to go through it, or do you want me to do it?
well, I'm the area coordinator. Hi,
Oh, yeah.
Sandy.
hi, how are you? Is this going to be recorded? I look horrible.
Yes, and I'll post the recording of the meeting on Facebook and make sure that you see it.
But will you see me looking like this?
You're being recorded right now.
Okay, all right.
What we're just going to kind of look at a sample of what the training entails. And I think the training is wonderful because it gives you a really good idea about what you're going to need to know to do this. And it gives you small increments, little classes you can do at your own leisure. And it's really good. By the time you're done, you're going to have a lot of confidence in what you're supposed to do and how it all works.
Sure.
And I'll answer.
Well, I lost a baby in life, so it's kind of a subject kind of near and dear to my heart. So
Well, then you really do understand what these folks are going to do. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
So, so the beginning, what you have to do is you have to, you apply, and then you ask you to sign a volunteer agreement, and you pay dues. Dues are $25.01 a year, a year, and that is for insurance. It's $25.01.
Okay.
They did it that way so it doesn't look like a donation coming in. So, and then at the very end, you'll get, when you complete the training, you'll get a badge. And you will have something when you walk into the hospital officially designating you, work well.
Sure. Yeah.
So let me just add a few, just a quick thing here is you will not have to walk into your first session cold, like, even though you've had your training, you don't know, like, oh my gosh, what is this really going to be like? Because you can go with other photographers once, twice, as many times as you need until you're ready to go by yourself.
Oh, okay. That's helpful. Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of comfort in that.
Yes.
So we're going to just look at the sessions you'd be taking.
I'm going to share my screen. Will you let me know if you see what I'm sharing?
Yes. Okay. So it says pinch to make bigger. Okay.
Okay, so this is it's under affiliated photographer. So when you go on there, when you start your training, there's just an outline, a basic outline of training and options. And these are some of the sessions, and it gives you the time. For instance, let's just say welcome and expectations is three, almost 4 minutes. And so you do that, you complete it, you check the complete box, and you go on to the next one.
Oh, okay. Are these like video
Yes.
training?
Yes,
Okay.
video
Okay.
training, and you'll be able to read it as you go along because it's also, you can see it.
Okay.
So you'll go through each of these subjects, and by the time you're done, you're going to feel like you understand it much better.
Uh-huh.
And so I think the training, I logged a typical session. It's about an hour, over an hour. Some of them are optional that you might want to attend. They're wonderful. So, but anyway, I would say, a couple hours you'll be done, and you can do it, like I said, at your leisure. And you can even stop in a session if you're not able to complete that one and come back.
And where are they held?
So when you become a member, they'll give you a login, and I don't think you'd be able to look at it until
You've completed.
yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to go back to the main course listings. My course
training.
my training.
Training.
Let's see if I can just get to the, okay, so this is the main page, and it looks like a lot, but really I'm a photographer, so I only need to complete the first few things, and then the first thing that says affiliated photographer. Other things are either extra credit, basically, like editing, lighting, things like that, or if you're an area coordinator. So it'll walk you through exactly what you need to share, and then after you've done a session, we all have an account with Shoot Proof that we upload them and email. So when we go to the room, the most important thing we need to do is get the email address, because that is how we communicate with them. I don't usually give them I don't know who I'm pointing at right now. I don't usually give them my personal information. I give them a letter that says, I'm from Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep. If for some reason this email doesn't come through, this is who you contact, because they know how to hunt me down.
Oh, okay.
They can't find the pictures, but it really does limit. I mean, I don't know these people. I don't want them emailing me personally, but they can go to the organization.
Oh, okay. And now when you say they, who are you referring to?
The families.
Oh, so the families contact you.
Say that again.
So the families contact you?
No. So the families will reach out to a doctor or nurse and say they're interested. And we have a relationship with the doctors and nurses and hospitals, and they will reach out to Lynn. And Lynn will reach out to one of us. So it does, it's very, you're private. Your phone number is not going to be on the internet.
Right.
And then I upload to the system, and I email them, and they really email me back. I'm not even sure they can.
Well, no, on the new website under photographers, it does list how they can get a hold of you directly if you.
I think I hit all my information though. I think you have that option.
Oh, okay.
But they always get back in touch with someone who can get in touch with you if they need something, or they have trouble downloading, something like that. Well, I'm not troubleshooting for people. I do my job and I'm done.
Yes.
You're not taking on a huge responsibility.
No, right. So, okay. And I have skills set with baby photography. So, yeah. So
when you apply, the biggest thing they're looking for is, do you know how to use lighting in any situation? I mean, it helps if you can submit pictures of babies, but when I applied, I submitted a picture of a baby doing a cake smash just to show that I know how to use artificial lighting, because when you're going into a hospital, you have no idea what you're walking into.
Exactly.
There's never a window.
So, you know, in this delicate situation, you know, for my lighting, I have, you know, the Flashpoint 600 with the Octa box. what kind of lighting usually do you use in a hospital setting because of fluorescent lighting?
I'll let Fran take that one.
Okay.
You'll see in the training that, some people take soft boxes in there, down to, I use a flash, I bounce it off the ceiling on
That's
my
all I
camera.
Okay.
Because
that's
most of the time you don't
I-
have an assistant and you don't want to be bothering anybody to hold a light for you and all that. So
Exactly.
the simplest way to do
I have the stand, but it's a lot to lug.
no.
And
It's very tight quarters.
Right. We started like that and it's like, no, this isn't good.
okay. So just my flash bouncing it off the ceiling would be enough.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And you said that they do offer a little class in lighting, right? Is
Yeah.
that correct?
That's
Okay.
the things you can
Okay.
And
yeah.
any of us would be happy to meet with you and do it and help you in person too.
Okay. So are all of the panel, are all of you from Charleston? Or
Or now.
now?
I live in Somerville.
And I live on James
Okay.
Island.
Oh, I'm on James Island. So
Okay.
that would be great to meet up and
I'd say the biggest hospital we go to is MUSC.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're our main contact right now. As soon as we get more marketers or photographers, we will start marketing more to
okay.
some of the other hospitals. We do have occasional Trident people at Trident. And
Absolutely.
or else at St. Francis you've had one.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
we need to get more people on board in order to meet these commitments. So that's
Absolutely.
with it.
Yeah.
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 How can we get a hold of you? Do you have an email
Well,
address?
yes. I have, if you wanted to look at my website,
Okay.
I have a website, www.sandradeephotography.com.
Okay.
And
Okay.
and then my cell phone is the best way. This won't be recorded in.
This is recorded if you'd like to send that privately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how would I do that? Just
I'll find you on Facebook and message you myself.
okay. So on Facebook, I'm Sandy, Sandie, last name Simon, Simon.
Okay, I can find you. I will.
Okay, and Sandy is spelled with an IE.
I can see your login. I have it.
Oh, okay, good.
So I think we've covered everything. I'm sorry you missed the beginning, but I'll send you the recording, which covers the basics.
Okay.
And we probably have about 5-10 more minutes if you have any other questions. I just kind of want to.
Yeah, no, not at all. Like I said, I just, it's something, a place where my heart has been for quite a few years. And I've thought about doing this. And, the fact that I'm retired and able to, do a service, as a Christian through community service. I like doing those. So.
Right.
I'm very, very comfortable. Okay. Okay.
Go to our website, Sandy, and
I will. So
and
I
you
should
can
go.
see the type of pictures. There's a lot on there. It's exciting.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All
And
right.
so like when you apply, if I did it years ago, but the biggest thing they're looking for is lighting. I think they asked for 5 natural light images and 5 images using artificial light. So it took me some time just to figure out what I wanted to submit. But they're not.
Okay.
They're just making sure we're offering good service, and they will help you if for some reason they decide you need more work on something. And we can look at your stuff too before you submit it if you'd like that. But we can help you if you feel
Yeah, on my website, I actually photographed my grandson 6 years ago, and as a newborn out in a basket, and that was all natural lighting.
perfect.
So and then I just recently shot a 6-month-old, and of course that was under lighting circumstances. So, those are on there as well. So feel free to just kind of go through my site and okay.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate
Okay. All right. Thank you. And I'll go to your website. Maybe not today, but I will get the process going.
I'm sure Lynn will
Awesome.
be in touch with you.
I will be.
Okay. Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank
And
you.
as soon as you contact me, I'll be able to give you my phone contact through Facebook in a private message. Okay.
Perfect. And I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the meeting, but feel free to message us, or you can comment on that Facebook post if you want, and I will get it and we will get back to you, but we'll also be emailing you.
Yeah, I'll give you my, and for anyone else that sees this, my email address.
Okay.
Lynn, L-I-N.
Oh, hold on. Let me get a pen. Alrighty.
This will give other people time to get a pen too.
Yes.
Okay, so this is L-Y-N.
No, L-I-I.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
L-I-N.
Uh-huh.
And then companion, C-O-M-P-A-N-I-O-N,
Okay.
Comcast.net.
At
Comcast.net. Yes, small L.
.net. Okay, and is that all lowercase?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay, Lynn.
All
I
right.
have that. Okay.
Thank
And
you.
I look forward to talking to you ladies. I
Thank
wish you, yeah, I would have dressed for the occasion had I known.
Bye.
All right. Take care.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.